The Brexit Club may have just pulled a fast one on us, and Angela Ye, I think, just exposed it. The hoodwinking started at this very bizarre, just hilarious live stream where she spilled the beans on workplace conflict and left everybody stunned, shocked, and confused as to what made her feel so comfortable to come on Instagram Live and spill the workplace conflict tea. Pause to the world. We thought, certainly this means she's fired, right? This is a _ on track. This ain't no part-time little _ that I got a contract that I negotiated and I got it, so I'm like, all right, cool, I'm on air. She overtalks, she's overtaking me. Lauren knows she does this _ I've told her about this _ times. You know she overtalks me. I'm like, yo, shut up, all right, or hush, be quiet. Yeah, that clip that y'all saw, yes, I shut up, I be quiet. Yeah, I've said that and I've meant that, you know what I mean. That's the only way to get her to hush, so I'm like, all right, cool. One day I told her, cause I went in the comments, I'm like, all right, people don't like that, all right, whatever. You know I'm not her mother. She's another grown woman. I have to respect this lady, but she not going to keep talking over me. I'm already confused on why the _ she still here, you know what I mean, like on air, not in the building. On air I should have went with my initial jerk reaction, which was IG, please man, I can spot a play from a mile away, bro, ain't no calm coming on Instagram and jeopardizing the greatest job the white man could offer. This is the greatest, most sought after job the white man could offer at Heart Media, bro. The third seat at the Breakfast Club after Angela Ye departed. Jobs like this don't open up, bro, almost ever. It takes somebody like Angela Ye leaving the seat voluntarily for a job like this to open up, so the fact that you got it ain't nobody putting that job at risk to gossip online, bro, not happening. So when she did it, I was shocked, and I was even more shocked that she went on the air the following morning at 5 a.m. and still had the job. It was corny, because we have conversations up here. We just have a meeting. If you had an issue, a problem, a situation, or something that you felt why you ain't bringing to the team when you came back, Jess, I pulled you to the side. I said, Jess, if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want Lauren in the room, this is your show. We can make that change whenever you want. Did I not, or did I not say that to you? Yeah, you did. It is not about wanting her in a room, yo, it's about the segment. Like it was like, y'all have that conversation off air. If you had a problem, say it to us. We had a meeting off air. What are you talking about? Not like nobody having my back, cause we have your back as far as the Corey Holcomb thing. Y'all been beefing for 11 years. I'm worrying about you. It's not even about you. You worried about comments, and you worried about what people say after the conception, and my reputation beyond the show. They've been itching on me for 15 years. They've been on the I don't let it affect me, because I know who I am as a person. I don't give a F what them people say in the comments. I know who I am. I know what I do. You let them people get in the comments and F with you. You're great at what you do. Everybody simmer down, like you are dope. You let them people piss you off. No F them _ like you nice, like what you do is funny. I tell her that all the time. You brought that energy that we needed to the Breakfast Club, and you let a ass person in the comments say something to stand you up. I F them _ we don't even know who these people are now. They could be bots and all that, and we doing it on air when we could have did it behind the scenes. Like I F with you the long way, not on some internetish. Nothing about this made sense, nothing at all. DJ Envy telling Jess, we gave you the option to get rid of Lauren LaRosa whenever you wanted her gone. So just coming on IG Live and claiming she's mad and she's doing all of this because just hilarious didn't get her just do because the Breakfast Club got Lauren LaRosa there when they gave you the option to get rid of her. It never made sense. This story was always just on my mind of I'm missing something, and we got what we were missing today. We got the answers, people, because the one thing Heart Media is good for, if they ain't good for anything else, they show knows how to make a fall in line. Niggers don't act up at iHeart, bro. They just don't. You ain't never seen a go to the Heart, bro, and become more arrogant and boisterous that don't fall in line to Heart. You got to kiss the boot when you go to Heart, bro. So when I seen just hilarious getting away with this behavior, I'm like, all right, bro, it's a play, man, bro. Even Stephen A. Smith won't get away with this behavior at ESPN, let alone just hilarious at Heart. Man, cut it out, man. So it finally made sense when the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne of God made this announcement a few days ago. Starting March 31st, I'm bringing you the latest in entertainment, breaking down the headlines you can't stop talking about and giving you my unfiltered take on the biggest stories in the industry. This is the latest with Lauren LaRosa. Sit back, grab the popcorn, cause baby we about to make a movie. Listen to the latest with Lauren LaRosa from the Black Effect Podcast Network on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow the latest with Lauren LaRosa and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today. Conveniently a couple days after Jess Hilarious did what she did and Breakfast Club had the biggest drama they've probably had in the last 5 years. Conveniently afterwards, Charlamagne God announced that Lauren LaRosa would be getting her own podcast on his podcast network, and conveniently, this huge guest stirrup that Jessarius called didn't lead to any consequences. No slap on the wrist, nothing. It's almost as if the higher-ups was in on the play. Of course the drama was fake. Of course, Hilarious got permission to go on live stream to Discs the workplace and diss her co-workers in Discs the company who's paying her bills. Of course she got permission beforehand, and the only logical answer would be they did this to promote Lauren LaRosa's new podcast on Charlamagne the God's Black Effect Network, and that's the only logical answer, because the other reason for it, which is I didn't know there was going to be a 4th seat, doesn't make sense and is actually a lie, and Angela Ye would expose that shortly. But here is just Hilarious giving her reason why she's crashing out on Instagram Live. Oh, no, I'm not going to compete where I already won this competition. I didn't know it was supposed to be 4. If this was presented to me, prior to hire, then I'd have been, then I wouldn't have been so shocked. Like, oh, __, all right, cool. So when we bringing in the 4th person, __, that's what's up, cool. According to Angela Ye, her not knowing that there was going to be a 4th person is shocking and almost unbelievable, because while before she even left, they were looking for a 4th person. When she was leaving, they said they were going to hire 2 people. So somehow just Hilarious not knowing that they were looking for a 4th person as well, according to Angela Ye, is kind of surprising and shocking, which it is, because it's not true. She knew they was looking for a 4th person, but this is just marketing for Lauren LaRosa. Many of us came to know and love you through the Breakfast Club. Yes, so first up we got to get into the Breakfast Club most recent drama. Angela, we want your take on what has happened recently. That argument that played out between Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne Nagode, DJ Envy, about women essentially coexisting in media and entertainment. And I always say that we have to learn how to work together and not compete against each other. Exactly, share the mice and also not feed into online criticism. Most recently we learned that Lauren LaRosa, who's a producer there, obviously has been filling in for Jess Hilarious when she was on maternity leave. She's now launching a new podcast called The Latest with Lauren LaRosa. Now the show is described as an extension of her popular segment on The Breakfast Club, where she breaks down the latest in news and pop culture. I'll begin with your thoughts on that and the overall drama that we all heard on the airwaves. Well, I will say this, when I initially left, they did say they were going to hire 2 people, so that was always the plan. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's communicated to anybody. I know Jess was out on maternity leave, and I know that's tough too. Coming back, I know she's expressed, having a baby, postpartum, all of those things take a toll, and Lauren works really hard, and just us too, like she's on the road. And I think part of why they hired her was because of that, like she does comedy shows, she goes on the road, that adds a lot to the show, has a strong following. But I think a lot of times it is social media that tends to get people riled up. It's outside forces, it's not what's in the room, and that's what makes tension sometimes build. But what is good is when you can have a blow up and then work through it, and so we just have to see it publicly play out. But I think it looks like they're really working through it, and I feel like this can be an advantage because a lot of people can relate to blow-ups in the workplace. And then how do you move forward from that? Because sometimes the resentment can just build and build and build, and then everything falls apart. But if you can catch it early on, that's a good way to make sure. Let's squash this. So if you knew that they were going to the 2 people or 2 women model, I don't know if it was 2 women but 2 additional people, how is it that didn't get communicated to just Hilarious, or at least it appears that way? Well, I'm not sure what they communicated, but I know the plan always was, even when I was there, they were like, we should add another person. Okay, and so it was. Always like, okay, you know we're going to hire 2 people. And I feel like they've said that, so I'm not sure why. What was said, I don't know why I didn't consider this sooner. I don't know why I really thought that Jazz Hilarious was bold enough to go on Instagram Live and disrespect her employers, disrespect the company, disrespect her coworkers at a job paying her $250,000 that she's not qualified for. Well, in fact, no, that's hating. I'm catching myself, that's hating. I can't say she's not qualified for it because she got the job, but nonetheless, though a job paying you over $250,000 a year, you're not going on Instagram Live to jeopardize that. That's not what usually happens. So when I hear that, just hilarious, bro, this is this right here is the reasonable conclusion. She already knew LaRoa was going to be the 4th seat. Her explanation for why she did the IG crash made no sense. It was a market employee, which explains why she didn't get any consequences. If you think somebody is putting a job paying them $250,000 a year to talk at risk without talking to the higher-ups to get permission, you was out of your mind, bro. This was creative marketing by Charlemagne. Now Charlemagne is still standing his ground, right? He would go on the Brilliant Idiots podcast and he would say this was all organic. It just happened to happen the week of Laura Rosa podcast launch, and this was completely by coincidence. Points and what she was saying. Why wouldn't you ever defend her? That's what I don't get. Who just, yeah, like I don't defend myself. When do I defend myself? Laughter. I don't defend myself, no, but in all seriousness, like I remember seeing what was happening to Jess and I was like, when will _ Charlemagne defend this black woman for once? Like, that's just hilarious, man. You know what's so funny? Lauren LaRoa is launching a podcast on the Black Effect. iHeartRadio, the producer of it, Taylor's the producer of it. Oh wow, Taylor can attest to this. This is why it's so funny. And this how you know things just be God, right? So the way Black Effect rolls podcast out, if you hear us announce a podcast that date has been on the books to announce for at least 60 days. Am I lying, Taylor? At least 60 days. Cause Lauren's first episode launches March 31st, so we announced on March 24th. Couldn't pay for all that _ that happened last week. That's great promo. You couldn't pay for that. You couldn't pay for it, and you couldn't pay, and everybody's like, oh, it was Blissy Street, Blissy stunt. You think we would do all of that for a goddamn podcast rollout? Like, if I'm gonna do something like that, it would be something way bigger. You know, like, I don't know, announcing a new co-host. You know what I'm saying, right? Like, I would do something way bigger than that for I wouldn't do something that big for a podcast rollout. Yes, that makes sense. You know what I mean. But Laura Rosa is the new co-host. Laura Rosa is the person that y'all been pushing heavily over the last couple months. Or Rosa is, I don't want to say pet project because that's kind of don't really like capitalize it. Lauren La Rosa has immense potential. Lauren La Rosa could be like the next Angie Martinez, right? So because they understand what they have in Lauren La Rosa and her potential, they're trying to cultivate it and give her enough looks. So yeah, you would put this rollout around somebody like Lauren La Rosa because you understand the returns is going to be greater than what you guys put out. A little drama, and in turn you make Lauren La Rosa a star. You really set her up to be a prominent figure in Heart Media. Come on, man. Listen, I'm not buying it no more, bro. I'm not buying the Jess was just upset and didn't talk to nobody. That's not how things work, bro. Usually when you do that, there's consequences, a suspension or something. You don't get to come back on air, have a conversation with your homes and go back to kicking it. Like, you ain't just disrespected your employer and the company. Let me know in the comments section, what do you guys think, man? Do you guys think this was a play? Now listen, if y'all think I'm wrong, bro, hey, then let's have the discussion. What I don't want is toxicity in a calm. Yo, if I'm wrong, disagree, I'll probably respond back to a lot of you guys' comments. We can have the conversation back and forth. Alright, this channel is a place for, you know, disagreements. Okay, we can disagree and still move on to the next video and have a great conversation on that next video too. Alright, now if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, to find out about the huge Zeus Network scandal that's going to take the company down. Like, this is huge. Scandals is almost 100% certainty going to end Zeus Network for good. It's really bad. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. I'm out of here.